The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You're bombing around all of your different not applications, but equipment. Maybe you've got a laptop, or you have a tablet, or you have a phone, and you can.
We all have a lot of those.
We all have those things. You're bombing around, and you're saying, "Oh, geez, I found the Local Show."
Oh,
or you can be on traditional radio, and like my daughter has a new Tacoma, Toyota Tacoma truck, and it's funny that the way that it's set up, the radio, it doesn't even go to the radio to start. Like, I had to take her car to get a tonneau cover because she's going to be leaving town and moving away. And I was trying to help her out. Well, I couldn't find the FM radio. Oh. I had to actually look up a YouTube video on how to get the radio to come on and see AM and FM radio.
These cars are getting more sophisticated than we are. Won't be able to drive them much
nuts,
longer.
Man. Hey, we've been talking with Dr. Marc Pietropaoli. He's the owner of Victory in Motion, the home of knee repair, not knee replacement, talking about his services, the uniqueness of it, and how he's helped a lot of people. And George, during the conversation in the last segment, it dawned on me, didn't you have a hip replacement? You're a young guy.
I both hips replaced.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was sitting there thinking, gosh, wouldn't it have been nice to not have to go through that? Because I went through the process of, okay, can we put an injection in? They injected the hips. It lasted about a week. And ended up having to, it was life-changing because it hurt all the time. Now, if there had been another way of doing it, it would have been nice to try that. Now, my wife had some things with her toes. We talked about that a little bit earlier. She had, because what is it? You said you do repair. How do you go about the repair process?
Yeah, so first of all, some people are to the point where they need to have metal, plastic, and cement put in their joints. And we, in that first segment, we talked a little bit about when to get in, so getting in sooner rather than later, to not let it get to that point. Because there's some people we can't help either. But for the most part, even if people have been told they need a joint replacement, we can usually help them. And a lot of times the problem is actually the cartilage on the end of the bone does wear down. There's cartilage on the end of the bone. It looks kind of like the white on the end of a chicken bone. And it's kind of like the tread on a tire. When that wears down, that's what arthritis is. And so when that starts to wear down, we can grow some of that back, but we're not perfect with that yet. The bigger problem is the bone underneath it gets soft. And so you get these little microfractures in the bone because as we get older and our muscles are weaker and we gain weight and our bones are softer and we don't eat as well and we eat an inflammatory diet, our bones get a little bit softer. And so that puts more force on our bones, gaining weight, losing muscle mass. Our muscles are our main shock absorbers, and our bones start to break down faster and our body can heal itself. So it's just like a road. If that undersurface gets soft, the top layer, the asphalt's going to break down. You're going to get a pothole. So what we repair, we can really repair and get to heal is the bone. And bone has millions of pressure-sensitive nerve fibers in it. So a lot of doctors don't even know this. A lot of orthopedic surgeons don't know this. So they ignore it. They say, oh, it's just a bone bruise or edema or swelling. No, it's actually microfracturing, like stress fracturing in the bone. It's a soft spot. People who have those are 9 times more likely to go on to need a knee replacement. So in our arms and in our legs, as we get older, we have less good stem cells. You've heard of stem cells, correct? So stem cells can turn into other cells, but stem cells can also boss other cells into repairing themselves. They're kind of like Chip and Joanna Gaines. They're like, hey, fixer-upper. And so we can take good stem cells. As we get older, we still have good stem cells in our pelvis, which is right below the surface above our buttock. It's not the hip, it's not the spine. We can get to it really easily in the office just by numbing it up. I've had it done myself. We take the good stem cells, we concentrate them, then we inject them into those soft spots in the bone, whether it's the hip or the knee or the ankle or wherever it is. Knee most commonly, even the shoulder we do. And then we can also inject some into the joint. We can inject some into the tendons, the muscles, the ligaments, all the things that need help healing. And those stem cells boss other cells into saying, hey, start repairing, start healing. And we can get the bone to heal, we can get tendons to heal, we can get muscles to heal, we can get some cartilage to grow back. It's not perfect yet, hence get in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. This I think of it as new age stuff. It's cool. New area of medicine, it seems to me, that not just, give you a pill, but fix. And you have some pills too, but.
No, that's true, but there is no magic pill, but when we say new, a lot of people, there's no science, there's no research on this. Baloney. So I'll geek out for 1 second because you probably want to hear this. So going back to the late 1990s, there's this doctor in France, an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Philippe Pernigot. And his theory was, hey, we have good stem cells in our pelvis, even into our 80s. We don't have good stem cells in our arms and our legs. That's why we break down. And so I can take good stem cells and put them where the bad areas are, just like we just talked about. So he did a study at 140 patients who had bilateral, meaning both knees had severe arthritis, and they were told they need a knee replacement on both sides. So he said, okay, we're going to do a knee replacement on one side, and then we're going to do stem cells into those stress microfractures on the other side.
Oh, wow.
We're going to follow these people at least 10 years. Some people 15 or 20 by the time the study was over. This was in the late 90s, early 2000s. So 82% of the people who got the stem cells never needed a knee replacement for 10, 15, 20 years. So there's a lot of research out there that shows that it works. It's not necessarily new. And frankly, it's ageless because God gave us stem cells, and and that's why we don't fall apart in the first place. We're just helping your own body, heal itself. So we're actually, it's age old.
We have the ability, our bodies have the ability to heal.
Absolutely.
And you're just putting it into the right place. Did you have to go back to school? I mean, because let's face it, if somebody comes to you and they're bone on bone, will you still do a surgery at all, or you're just not?
No, I mean, I still do surgeries. I don't do any knee replacements. If someone really needs one, we can refer them out. But even the people who are bone on bone, if they have that stress microfracturing, I know it's pretty much a home run. We're going to significantly help them. Now, are they going to be 100%? No. But a lot of people, we ask them what their goals are. They may be, my knee is like 20% right now. If I could just get to 70%, I'll be so happy. Yeah, and I know that's pretty much a home run because we could probably get them to 80%, I know in the back of my mind. So if they have really severe deformity and they want their knee to be straightened, we can't help with shots. That's going to be a knee replacement if they really want it to get it straight.
If you don't have bad knees and you're around our age, cresting 60s and stuff like that, when you go to the gym, or if you're biking or just even walking, should you wear a brace? Is it necessary to wear a wrap or a brace or anything like that?
It's a great question because your muscles, then your muscles start relying on the brace. Yeah. So if you don't need a brace, you don't have true instability, your knee's not truly giving out from a torn ligament, then I would not go with a brace. I mean, some people, if they want to wear a wrap, to keep it warm, just when they're working out, that's not a big deal.
Like one of those neoprene.
I mean, if they want, but some people like it, some people don't, because this time of year it gets warm, it gets sweaty, it crumbles up in the back. You can't do a sumo squat as well with one of those on. So it does limit range of motion too.
Okay.
Now you said early. What would be signs? Because I know when I had my hip done, I waited till the last minute. I hurt literally all the time, day and night. When would be a time for a person to come in to see you?
Another great question, because normal soreness, Tom, right? Maybe 2 or 3 days at the most, right? If you start having soreness that's going on for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and not getting better or getting worse, then you should get in. If you have swelling that's not going away, you might get a little swelling working out, right, for a day or two.
Sure.
But if it doesn't go away after 2 or 3 days and it's getting worse, or it's hanging out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, you should at least get in, because sometimes we hit this stuff early. We can cure them. We can get the bone healed before the cartilage breaks down. That's called curing arthritis.
Right. So you're saying don't be a guy and tough it out.
Oh yeah, the guys are the worst. We are, for sure.
Dr. Marc Pietropaoli right there, owner of Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement. You can find out more at victoryinmotion.com. Victoryinmotion.com. Phone number is 315-685-7544. 685-7544. Give them a call. He'll tell you all about that stuff that's not physical therapy as well, and you can see all their equipment, all that. It's such a great process, and we thank you for being a sponsor of the show. We really do. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.